What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to Taco-Bout Raiders Tuesday Live. Now, we got a lot of things that are just kind of going on. We were so happy that we had this offseason that was just seemed to be drama-free. And, it was really quiet all of a sudden, coming through, the months of June and July. And it was very shocking. And then now all of a sudden everything is breaking loose, man. Everything is just kind of getting all crazy, man. My 2 cents in the building. Salute. What's going on, man? Billy Davis, one of the model Raiders. What's up? So, you know, this thing is like, I don't know, man. It just seems to be one thing after another. I've been kind of anticipating all day that we're going to get some news that Davante Adams has been traded, blah, blah, blah. And it just hasn't come through. There was a report, however, that came out talking about the way that Davante Adams approached AP, and that AP kind of felt blindsided by the whole thing, which I think is kind of weird because, why are you going to feel blindsided? We all knew this was coming, right? Let me see if I can pull it up. Actually, I should have pulled it up. SI.com. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share screen. For those of you guys on TikTok, sorry, if you want to see the share screen, jump over to YouTube, TRU RAIDER Podcast. Let's go ahead and pull this thing up. Ooh, I lied. Pulled up the wrong one. It's all right. I'm having a moment, man. A moment. It's all good. There we go. So this is Sports Illustrated. Jay Glazer reported for Fox. Adams asked out last week, and the team was not expecting it. Davante Adams blindsided Raiders with trade demand. It says the long rumored finally became reality last week when superstar wideout Davante Adams demanded a trade from the Las Vegas Raiders. From the outside, the news didn't come across as terribly shocking. Adams is one of the best receivers in the NFL, but he is 31 years old, and the Raiders are clearly not going to contend for the playoffs, much less a championship this season or any time in the near future. Even if the man himself denied it in the lead up to the 2024 season, it made a lot of sense for both sides to get Adams elsewhere. However, a new report suggests the franchise did not view the situation in that light. Jay Glazer, reporting for Fox Sports on Fox NFL pregame on Sunday morning, said the Raiders were blindsided by Adams' trade request when it came last Monday. They think everything is fine, said Glazer of the Raiders on Monday. Adams reaches out to Antonio Pierce, says, I want to come up and meet with you. He thinks it is about his hamstring. Comes up there and says, I want out. I'm done. I want to finish my... I think he meant, I don't want to finish my career like this. He completely blindsided them. Now, the whole idea that this is a blindside, I think is absolutely ridiculous, because how is this going to be a blindside when everybody has been talking about, oh, Davante Adams is going to want out. He's going to want out, blah, 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 right? And, for me, it's pretty clear that, of course, Davante Adams wants out. We started with, he came over here to play with Derek Carr. We got rid of Derek Carr. He played under Jared Stidham. Well, next season starts and we get Jimmy Garoppolo. And Jimmy Garoppolo, that was a nightmare. And then he plays under Brian Hoyer, and then Aiden O'Connell, and now Garner Minshew. And it's very clear that not only is this offensive coordinator garbage, but our quarterback play is garbage, right? Even if they put in Aiden O'Connell now, it's like, I don't see that being something that's going to make it to where Adams is like, oh yeah, I want to stay all of a sudden. It kind of is what it is. So, the way I look at this is that we need to get draft capital for him. And there's a couple of teams in the mix. And, some of the teams in the mix are teams like the Jets and the Saints. So the Raiders are 2-3, and it's not looking great. The Saints are 2-3, and it's not looking great. The Jets are 2-3, and it's not looking great. So really, I think what it's really about is that Adams wants to go somewhere that he can have a quarterback that's going to get him his stats. And that's fine, right? I think honestly, for him to go and play with Aaron Rodgers would be a bad mistake on his part, because he's going to go over there to a terrible situation. The Jets just fired their head coach, right? And so, what do they really expect is going to happen over there? Exactly what's been happening over here in Vegas, right? And then Aaron Rodgers, how long is he really going to play? Maybe the rest of this season, maybe one more. So it's just a bad setup. So, okay, if Devontae goes where he wants to go, going to play with Derek Carr would be ideal, because Derek Carr is going to be there at least for several more years. And Devontae Adams could really have a couple of years to get a shot with his college quarterback, the shot that he didn't get in Vegas. I wish that they would have done that, but they did not, and it is what it is, right? Cool, whatever. But man, this whole Devontae Adams thing is like, I'm ready for it to be kind of done. I'm ready for us to move on and see what kind of trade we get. And what I would like is if we get some kind of draft capital, something like that in exchange for Devontae Adams. Because for us to get a player right now, it doesn't make sense to me, because what we need is a quarterback. Until we identify the quarterback, it doesn't matter who else we add. And right now, we have Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, Trey Tucker, DJ Turner. We got Michael Mayer, which there was some news that came out today where Michael Mayer's personal issues have nothing to do with him being unhappy in Vegas and wanting out, or a trade or anything like that. I guess his family reached out to the Raiders, and they didn't actually say what it was, right? But what they did say is that it has nothing to do with him wanting out. And so at least they finally actually said something about it, All right, AG. I hope Devontae Adams never wins ring and gets popped on every play on his new team. I get the feelings, man, but because I've watched, Josh Jacobs went to Green Bay, and I found myself kind of rooting for him to not have a good season, and really I don't want to be that kind of negative person. So like Devontae Adams, sure, go out there and go get your stats for your Hall of Fame career and maybe even a championship, whatever. As long as it's not with the Chiefs, I'll be okay with it. Even if he went over to the 49ers, which the 49ers are also 2-3, and they are struggling really bad without Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. So it would actually make sense for them to reach out to us and potentially try to get a trade going. That way they could put Devontae Adams on that offense and actually maybe have a chance of getting a playoff run this year. And so like what it comes down to is who's going to give us what, right? What kind of draft capital are we going to get from what teams? And I know that the Steelers are one of the teams in the mix, and it was projected something like a 2025 second and like a fifth rounder from 2026, and I wouldn't really be happy with that draft capital. Would I like to see Devontae Adams go to the Steelers? That would probably be a pretty decent spot for him, given that Mike Tomlin has been there for like 20 years and they're very established and consistent with making the playoffs. They have a winning record constantly, and Justin Fields isn't the best quarterback, but he's looking a lot better than Gardner Minshew, that's for sure. But also my wife is a Steelers fan, and so I'd kind of like to see him go over there. It's funny, she said if he goes over there that she wants a jersey. I was like, man, you're going to be like me with a Devontae Adams jersey hanging in your closet that you can't wear anymore. Let's see. My 2 cents, NFL Mafia strikes again in regards to Adams ordeal. If you know, you know. Enlighten us, man. AG, yeah, I don't know what we're going to do with the QB situation. Who you want? Are you talking to Billy, or are you talking to me on that one? Gunsmoke, salute. What's going on, man? So, really, it probably makes most sense for him to go to the Jets or the Saints, but there's also other teams that could be in the mix, and I don't think these other ones are going to really give us draft capital. Sorry, if you're on TikTok, I'm not really keeping up with the chat very good on TikTok. I do it mostly on YouTube. Drewski, we will give you Amari Cooper at this point. My Browns have fell apart. We don't want Amari Cooper. We already been there, done that. Don't want to do it again. But hey, if the draft capital's right, cool. Give us picks. You know what? Yeah, Browns, give us picks for Devontae Adams. I would love that. He could go over there with Diddy Watson and Amari Cooper. And then, you guys are probably going to have a pretty high draft pick. And I would love to get that kind of draft capital for sure. Because we need to trade up and get a QB bad. And no, we don't want Diddy Watson. I haven't been looking at college quarterbacks because I don't want to just kind of do that to our season. I've seen very, very little of this class, and I've been trying to just kind of not look at it on purpose, AG. But really, who y'all want to put in for QB? Okay, you're talking about now. Well, yeah, that one's a no-brainer for me. It's got to be Aiden O'Connell, right? And the reason I say it's got to be Aiden O'Connell is because the same reason why I thought we should have started Aiden O'Connell in the first place at the beginning of the season. And it's not because Aiden O'Connell's the next Tom Brady and he's going to do so great and blah, blah. Like, it's none of that. Because I don't really believe in Aiden O'Connell in that way. What I do believe is that Aiden O'Connell is an accurate passer, and he has a lot more zip on the ball. A lot of people are talking trash because, Aiden O'Connell threw a pick also, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is that Aiden O'Connell put the ball in Brock Bowers' hands, and it bounced out, got tipped up, then it got picked off, right? And the reason for that is because Aiden O'Connell throws the ball with more zip, and he hasn't been getting those first-team reps with Brock Bowers. So Brock Bowers is expecting one of those little ducks that Gardner Minshew throws, and he's going to catch it, but it came in with a little bit more zip, and so the timing is off. He does not have the timing with his receivers right now, and so I think that him getting first-team reps, they'll get that timing a little bit better, and it'll look better than him coming in when we're super behind in the fourth quarter and just trying to make something out of nothing, right? But Aiden O'Connell is not a superstar. He's not, and I don't think he ever will be. But the reasons to start him is simple. Who are we going to really do better with, Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell? It's 1A and 1B, right? And so if it's going to be a 1A, 1B situation, we might as well put in O'Connell because we already know what Gardner Minshew is. We've had plenty of tape on him from past seasons. Everybody said he's going to be Rich Gannon. He's going to come in here and he's going to revitalize his career. Well, guess what? He's had 5 games and it looks like crap, right? And people are saying, no, the stats. I don't give a crap about the stats because it's not about the stats. It's about the timing of the stats and what it looks like. And what it looks like is garbage, right? Garbage Minshew. And so if we have garbage Minshew over here continuing to do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, well, that's the definition of insanity. And so we might as well bring in Aiden O'Connell, try something different. We're going to get to see what we have in Aiden O'Connell because guess what? We're going to go and get a quarterback next year. We have to, right? If we do not take a shot at a quarterback, then we're just kind of surrendering to the fact that we're going to be a losing organization for years to come. Now, Aiden O'Connell, if he goes out there and he surprises everybody and he does extremely well, well, guess what? We're winning games, and maybe we go ahead and stick with him for next year and try to build. Or we bring in a quarterback and start Aiden O'Connell anyway, because we should be drafting a quarterback every single draft, no matter what. I don't know what we were thinking this year that we didn't pick up Spencer Rattler or somebody, Jordan Travis, just somebody that could sit behind these veterans and learn. Right? We need to keep doing that until we land somebody. Look at Brock Purdy, last guy in the draft, right? He was Mr. Irrelevant, and then all of a sudden, he's this great quarterback, right? And the reason for that was that they went ahead and they picked up a quarterback even though they didn't need one, right? And so we need one. We need to be drafting quarterbacks every year. And if Aiden O'Connell does well, we draft a quarterback to sit behind Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew and learn. Well, then all of a sudden we got a good quarterback room that if somebody goes down with an injury, we swap them out, right? And then on top of that, if Aiden O'Connell balls out and he wins the job, well, guess what? Then we got a quarterback that's balling out and won the job. Cool. Let's stick with that, right? But we have to see what we have, and we got to do it right now. It makes no sense for us to wait and keep playing Minshew and just go, I don't know, because if Antonio Pierce does not grow a pair of balls and just put him in, because it's clear as day that he wants to put him in. Put him in. He's talking in the press conference. He's like, "Oh yeah, we know what we got in on O'Connell," and he was talking so confident. Antonio Pierce is not. He does not have a poker face at all. When he's talking about Davante Adams, he gets very uncomfortable. His body language, you could tell something was going on, right? When he talks about, players that are active and stepping up, he talks with full confidence, right? So when he talks about Gardner Minshew, he's like, and when he talks about Aiden O'Connell, he's like, boom, yeah, we know what we have, right? Just start the damn kid already. I don't know what's up with this. Yes, I'm going to say it again. Garbage Minshew. Number 15, he's obviously getting us nowhere, man. He's obviously getting us nowhere. AOC all day, Billy Davis. And I'm not an Aiden O'Connell fan, so I don't want people to think, oh, we got this Aiden O'Connell fan that just wants him to play. Like, no, not at all. I wanted Jaden Daniels, and everybody said I was crazy because I said, let's trade 2 first-rounders, Davante Adams and Colton Miller. Let's go get Jaden Daniels. If I were the Commanders and I was picking at number 2, somebody throws 2 first-round picks at me, a left tackle, a good left tackle, and Davante Adams, all of a sudden, the thing that's not for sale, we're going to consider it. Maybe they wouldn't have sold, right? Maybe they would have said, no, we're going with Jaden, right? Which would have been the smart choice, because Jaden Daniels is balling out. That offense, Cliff Kingsbury and Jaden Daniels, is what we were trying to get. Looks amazing. And instead, we got Luke Getsy and Gardner Minshew. Garbage Minshew. I'm over it, man. So we should have grabbed Joe Milton at the very least. All the speed we have, plus he's mobile, might have worked. At least, right? We should have picked up somebody to learn, even if it's somebody that never has a starting rep or even a backup rep on this roster. We should have gone ahead and done that. And we failed to acquire a quarterback, and I put that on Tom Telesco. See, it's very obvious from the pressers and from all this stuff that Antonio Pierce doesn't really seem to have a whole lot of power, because it's one of two things. He either has like very little power or he's a punk. It's one or the other. You guys let me know what you think. I think it's more that he has very little power. His hands are kind of tied, and I'm not a guy like, look, I've said very good things about Antonio Pierce, but I'm not going to defend him blindly. He is messing up. He is messing up bad. And so if he's going to continue to mess up in the ways that he's messing up when it comes to staffing, roster, and just kind of like making adjustments, like, oh, hey, look, this thing's not working. We need to make an adjustment. Like, I remember when they put Patrick Graham up in the box, that was an adjustment, right? And all of a sudden this defense started to click. And then Luke Getsy's still on the sideline. Do something. If Getsy's not going to call it right, fire him. Fire him. Get him out of here. Getsy needs to get the F out of here. You're exactly right. O'Connell isn't the answer, but I'd rather he start over Minshew. And that's exactly it, right? And people like keep telling me that, like, oh, you think Aiden O'Connell is going to fix it? And no, I don't. But we need to start him instead of Minshew, because Minshew is not the answer. And if we know without a doubt that Minshew is not the answer, then we need to go with something different, right? I do want to bring up Christian Wilkins had a heel fracture, I believe, a heel fracture. So Christian Wilkins is going to be out, they said, indefinitely. He had surgery on this. So he's going to be out for a minimum of 4 weeks, but honestly, he's probably out for season. And so all of a sudden, we're starting to see some of these star players kind of hit the bench, which is bad news, right? Now, is that the Raiders are just, okay, it's tank season, but no, I don't believe it is. But we're losing key players on defense. We're losing key players on offense. And we got to rally, man. Oh. I don't trust AOC. He's goofy and gets sacked too much. I won't lie. He is pretty goofy, right? Let's see. I'm going to pull up something for you. Let me pull it up. Okay, we're going to pull up some stats. I gotta tell you guys, man, I switched over to Starlink because my internet sucked, and I gotta say, it's not really getting much better, man. You know, it's like faster, but it has weird lags, dude. So I'm not really sure what's up with that, but you guys let me know if the stream seems more clear or if it's just kind of on par, you know, the average stuff. Let me know. Okay, cool. I found it. I'm going to share screen now. If you are on TikTok, I'm sorry I cannot share the screen on there. Or on, well, I guess if you're on Facebook, you can see it too. All right. So we're going to pull up some stats. And stats don't mean everything, right? I say that all the time. But if you look at Gardner Minshew in 5 games played, he's been sacked 15 times. 15. And yes, Aiden O'Connell would probably have that many sacks too. But my whole point in pulling this up is that, yes, Aiden O'Connell gets sacked. He's not very mobile. But Gardner Minshew gets sacked, and that's his whole thing, right? The whole reason Gardner Minshew won the job is because his scramble ability and that they thought he'd be able to avoid sacks. Well, he's not. He's been sacked 15 times. So I guess what I'm wondering, NFL QB sack stats. I wonder if I could pull this up. Okay. I could pull it up. Oops. Cool. I'm going to share screen on this too. Let's check it out. Let's see what this looks like. NFL player stats sacked. Deshaun Watson has seen the most sacks. No pause. All the Diddy, right? 26 times he's been sacked. And then second place is 18, Geno Smith. Gardner Minshew is tied for number 7 with being sacked 15 times. 15 times, right? We got Deshaun Watson, Geno Smith, Jacoby Brissett, Caleb Williams, Matthew Stafford, Baker Mayfield, and Will Levis are the only quarterbacks that have been sacked more, and not by much. So really, Gardner Minshew is a top 10 most sacked quarterback in the NFL right now. So what did we see on this last game when Aiden O'Connell went in? He was actually running, right? Was he making great plays when he'd extend it? No. You know, most of the plays that he extended did not result in first downs or even plus yardage. But it's the same for Minshew. It's the same exact thing. So if Aiden O'Connell can run out of the pocket just as much as Minshew, what are we starting Minshew for? Minshew, I don't get it. I think we just need to see what it is. My 2 cents, Minshew getting sacked like a well-used with JJ. So why continue to get pounded like said with JJ? My 2 cents, man. I can't believe you got me on that, man. I put it up on the screen, man. Didn't even read it. That was good, man. Billy Davis always with the optimism, with that hopium. But the dude living in a van wasn't goofy. And I want to talk about that, right? Because a big argument against starting Aiden O'Connell is people say, well, he's not a leader. He's not a leader. And you think Gardner Minshew is? Is Gardner Minshew really a leader at this point? What I see is a scared little puppy dog. You know, he's this. It's funny, right? Because Wasted called him a scared puppy dog, and man, I can't get the image out of my head. That image of him sitting on the bench, just looking all sad. You know, like somebody took away his toy. It's just like that's how he looks, man. And he's not hyping anybody up. In fact, Max Crosby against the Ravens had to go and hype him up and get him back in the game. And that's not what we need at quarterback. We need somebody that's going to be outspoken and be a leader. Is Aiden O'Connell that? No. But Gardner Minshew is not that more than Aiden O'Connell. So what does it matter? I think I'm making my point. I think. AOC like a rookie to me, Minshew because of the experience. That's it. Yeah, but his experience isn't getting us anywhere. It's really, really not. We're losing against bad teams. The Chargers are not a good team. They did not play well against us. We beat ourselves, right? The Panthers are the only team that actually beat us so far because with the Broncos, we beat ourselves. They did not come out there and play a great game. We messed up, and that's what it is. We have no running game. Hit stick stepper. What's up? What's up? We have no running game, but we consistently call run plays on 3rd and long. Wild work. Shake my head. And that's just nasty to me, man. Like, and this is the other part of Aiden O'Connell being the starter in my mind is that we need to see, okay, there was the whole debate when we hired Luke Getsy. Is it Justin Fields? Is it Luke Getsy? Well, guess what? Justin Fields is sitting over there. Okay, they're 3-2, but he's playing great football, right? Justin Fields looks great over there with the Steelers. And so what I would say is that it was Luke Getsy. Our offense looks like crap. The Steelers' offense looks way better than ours, right? Just is what it is. Now, if we put Aiden O'Connell in and he sucks as well, well, guess what? We got Justin Fields sucked with Luke Getsy, Gardner Minshew sucked with Luke Getsy, and then Aiden O'Connell sucks with Luke Getsy. You rule out the common denominator and you get rid of Luke Getsy, right? Because at this point, I already want to get rid of him. In fact, when we signed him, I was really hoping that he was going to pull a Cliff Kingsbury and then all of a sudden disappear. I was really hoping for that. I got Bears fans, man, laughing at us. It's funny, man. And they're like, you know what? Like, I just feel bad for you. Yeah, see, he's a journeyman backup QB. And, we paid him this contract, and it's like, whatever. It's not even that much money in the grand scheme of the NFL. It's not that big of a deal. But it's like, for some reason, we're being loyal to him to a fault, right? We've definitely gone through the first quarter of the season, and it's time, man. It's time to make a change. Time to make a change. So I don't really think that the O-line necessarily plays better with one QB over the other. I think that the QBs have different styles. Gardner Minshew against the Broncos. There's one play in particular I'm thinking of. And I was so mad about it on the live stream, right? Where Gardner Minshew steps back in the pocket and there was a little bit of pressure that came out on the right side. He had enough time if he took a step forward to make a throw, right? If there was nobody open, throw it away or run. What he did instead was he stepped up, he grabbed the ball and he put his head down. He stepped up and then he stepped back and he turned around, got hit, right? It was just ridiculous. He ran into a sack. Remember who used to run into sacks? Derek Carr, right? And we torched him for it. He's a little ass boy. Yeah, little ass boy. Freddie Chavez. Salute. What's going on, Freddie? Let's see. AOC bait KC, Denver, LAC last year as a rookie. So far, Minshew 0-2 versus AFC West. And okay, Aiden O'Connell didn't really beat the Chiefs, right? Because he had an awful game. But just because he had an awful game doesn't mean that he didn't get that win, right? I don't credit Gardner Minshew with that win, but we still beat him, right? And then there was that game where he put up 63 points against the Chargers, and people were like, oh, well, we were playing their backup quarterback and da-da-da. Justin Herbert's not out there, doing interceptions and sacking Aiden O'Connell and doing weird stuff like that, right? Aiden O'Connell played a great game against the Chargers in that game, and our defense played even better. We just mollywopped them, and guess what? They got us back. But Minshew, so far, we're losing in our division, which means that our playoff hopes shrink more and more by the day. Because at this point, We can't afford to be losing any more games in our division, and we're not gonna beat the Chiefs twice, the Chargers, and the Broncos moving forward. I don't see that happening. Now, if we split it with the Chiefs and split it with all of our teams, right? Because that's the only way, right? Is if we win one against the Chiefs and then we beat the Chargers and we beat the Broncos. Well, we've split in our division, and so they'd have to be doing pretty terrible for us to win um, that playoff spot, man. It's not looking good. AG O line be failing him, giving up, make business decisions. So all right, so our offensive line is playing like crap, right? It really is. Um, it really is. And I said that we needed to get rid of Colton Miller, and everybody's like, well, who's going to protect the quarterback? And you can't just get left tackles. And the thing is that Thayer Mumford did pretty good. Um, in Colton Miller's absence last year, but Thayer Mumford's out with injury, so we'd be kind of screwed. But Colton Miller's not doing that great. And if we could have got some good draft capital for him, it'd have been great, because now that he's playing like crap, we're not going to get that draft capital. It's just not going to happen. Yes, Luke needs to get the F out of here. Exactly my 2 cents. You guys keep talking to somebody named Jazen, and I haven't seen them in the chat, man. So, oh, there it is. Boom. Tripping, dude. Tripping. DC looked like DC against the Chiefs. DC will do DC things. Gunsmoke. He was smart enough to not make us lose against KC. How many QBs would have tried to make a play and lose it with a pick six? And that's exactly it, right? He wasn't making mistakes. And yeah, he wasn't getting positive yardage and doing all these things. It's okay, because he did what he needed to do in that game for us to get the win. And that's why I say it doesn't matter what the stats are, it's the timing, right? I think he only threw for like 63 yards in that game. Well, those 63 yards are the yards that we needed to get, and that's it, right? Now, you can have somebody throw for 400 yards. Look at Justin Herbert. How many games has he thrown for 400 yards and then lose anyway? Look at Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow and the Bengals are 1-4, and the dude is absolutely, like, he's already thrown, 12 touchdowns in 5 games? It's the timing of the stats. I don't mind switching QBs in the middle of a game to try to give the team a spark. Go with who has the hot hand. And at this point, for us to throw in Aiden O'Connell last minute in the fourth quarter and we're down, it's garbage time. It's like, why are we doing that? Make the switch sooner. And really, at this point, I think he just needs to get the start. I think he needs the whole week of starting reps. Get him in there. Just do it. They need to just announce it. If they're already doing that, I really hope so. We go up against the Steelers, and then the day of or the day before, they announce, oh, yeah, Aiden O'Connell is going to be our starter, by the way. That way we can maybe blindside the Steelers, because the last 2 years, man, the Steelers have gotten us, man, and my wife has bragging rights right now, and I do not like that, man. I do not like my wife having the bragging rights. I remember, I think it was Christmas Eve or something. I know we were like wrapping Christmas presents, man. And I didn't think that she was watching the game, right? She's like all into it. And I suck at wrapping presents. So I'm just like the gopher. And then all of a sudden we get the win and she gets all loud. And I was just like, damn, like this one hurts, man. Hurts. Let's see. My 2 cents honestly wasn't keen on dishing Miller, but if we knew how long it would take him to recover, more would have been on that bus. See, and that's what I was saying in the off season, right? And my 2 cents, you were here for a lot of that, where I was saying that on the Jane Daniels, because you've been here for a minute, my 2 cents. But yeah, I mean, I saw it coming because of he was out with the shoulder injury, right? And then he got surgery. And the first thing I thought is, we got a left tackle who's getting shoulder surgery. Now, all of the people in my whole life that I've ever seen get geez, I can't even say it right. Shoulder surgery. They did not heal properly. And so shoulders are very important for offensive tackles in the NFL. And so if he's not like up to full strength on that, plus he was sitting out and he didn't get off-season reps and all this stuff, yeah, man, he's not up to speed. He's not up to strength. Let's see. MG Raider 63 Wilkins is out due to surgery. Just want to give you a heads up. Yeah, we talked about that a minute ago, man. He got a surgery. I think it was a fractured heel. And they said out indefinitely. And so I don't know if that's going to be 4 weeks, 8 weeks, or all the season. And my guess is that it's going to be whole season, man. You know, and that really sucks. Jeffrey Champion, at least your guy's quarterback didn't go up there and put up at 8.5 quarterback rating. Who is that? Jeffrey, who put that up? Let us know, man. That's awful. My 2 cents. Also, rather roll in O'Connell than bring in old ass Wilson. Yeah, I do not want to trade for Wilson, man. A lot of people are saying that we might pick him up from the Steelers because Justin Fields won that job, but that would be disgusting. Because to go out there and get Russell Wilson for Devontae Adams, what? No, not even close. I would say that they could give us a 5th-round pick and Russell Wilson in exchange for nothing. They could pay us to take him away from them. Now, do I think Russell Wilson would do a better job than Gardner Minshew? Yes. Do I think he'd do a better job than Aiden O'Connell? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would believe so. Deshaun Watson's the one that threw for a 8.5 QBR. That's disgusting. That's going to be the worst trade in NFL history. Gunsmoke. No more big names, please. Didn't we learn after Jimmy? AG all day. Fields for Adams. All day. I was saying that we should have got Justin Fields, and that's another one that people roasted me in the comments over, man. I was saying we need to go get Justin Fields right now. We'll have a 3-way battle between Justin Fields, Gardner Minshew, and Aiden O'Connell. People were like, no, don't go get him. Now, with him under Luke Getsy, would have been awful. So if we go and get Fields right now, he's going to play awful under Luke Getsy, which tells me it's Luke Getsy. Now, if we go ahead and trade for Fields, straight across, Adams for Fields. Fields is young. He has a lot of potential. He hasn't reached his ceiling. Adams is already on the downward curve, man. And he wants out. So if we went out there and we got Justin Fields and then fired Luke Getsy, cool, man. Bring it. All day, right? All day. But yeah, the big names, I don't think Fields is a big name really, so I'd love to bring him in. But Russell Wilson, he's cooked, man. Denver is paying millions and millions of dollars just to get rid of him. And that tells you everything you need to know. For Bo Nix, which Bo Nix should have sat for a year. He didn't look half bad against us. Exactly. We're going to run, pass, punt. Well, we're going to run on first down. Occasionally we'll do a throw on first down, but it's, and he's trying to switch it up, man, but it's nasty, man, nasty. We got another one of our model Raiders, Raider Ryan. Salute, man. What's going on, man? What's good? Want the most out of personnel, must draft them. I wish we could draft a coach. Man, there's a couple of quarterbacks in this next draft, man, that and I haven't really done my research fully, but I like Cam Ward. If we got Shooter Sanders, I wouldn't be mad, but I'm not giving up the farm to go get him. Ewers looks good. There's a couple of guys out there that are solid. coming out of this draft, right? At least 5. I think it's about 5, maybe 6. Um, and we need to go get one. Period, right? And so if we get rid of Adams and get a second round and a 5th round, right, is what we're kind of projected to get. We need to package that up and go out there and get a quarterback, because I think that a lot less teams are going to be looking for a quarterback at this point. So we'll see what's up, man. Raider Ryan's got that same big ass coffee cup. Just got to get caffeinated, bro. For real, for real. Gunsmoke, I'm cool with Fields. I'm saying now Dak and no Dak, no Wilson. I do not want Dak Prescott. He did a pretty amazing throw right there at the end of that Steelers game. It was 4th and 4, I think. There was like 20 seconds on the clock. Throws a touchdown. He clutched it up, right? He's up in his game there, but nah, I don't want a Dak Prescott. Would Dak Prescott be better than Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell? Yes. At $60 million a year? No. Back to 500 this Sunday. Raider Nation for life. Freddie, I want to have that same optimism because if we beat the Steelers, we'll move to 500 and they'll drop down to 500. And we need to break that streak against the Steelers. The Steelers aren't putting up a ton of points, which is in our favor, but Justin Fields, man, I don't know, dude. When quarterbacks run against us, we do awful. We do absolutely awful against it. So I have a feeling that they're going to do that. We'll see how that goes, man. AG, we are definitely way too predictable. I think our offense is super predictable, and they figured out how to start slicing up our defense, man. And I'm really confused about it. We were supposed to have a top 5 defense, and yeah, we started the season not having Malcolm Kuntz, but it was more than that, man. It's like Divine Diablo was really messing up, but now with Tommy Eichenberg in there, it's not looking much better, right? Not by a lot. They're being able to run the ball on us way too good. Gunsmoke, I honestly think our biggest issues are O-line and creative play calling. Those are our 2 biggest glaring needs, right? Because even with Gardner Minshew, if we had better play calling, and we've seen it, right? Really, Luke Getsy has called about 2 good quarters of football, maybe 3 this entire season. And when we're clicking, we are clicking, man. And we get a lot of good plays out there, but the rest of the time, it's so vanilla, man. It's so predictable, and it's brutal, right? But I've seen a couple of breakdowns of Gardner Minshew. Raider Alex did one. Raider Films did one. I think Sanjit did some. Like when I see tape breakdowns of Gardner Minshew, what I see is that he is missing a lot of plays, man. And I think that Aiden O'Connell has better eyes and will be able to hit those receivers a lot better, right? Those open receivers up the middle of the field. He has the ability to see better up the middle of the field because he's a pocket passer, and we've been saying like, well, Gardner Minshew does better when he's able to get outside the pocket when you have, 4 wide offense. And guess who else they said that about? Bo Nix. You know why they said that about Bo Nix? Because he's a rookie. And they said, oh, well, it'll make it easier on the rookie to have him play like that. Why do we need Gardner Minshew, who's in his 6th year, playing like a rookie? We don't need that, man. We don't. So, Billy, honestly, I'm starting to lose my faith in AP. I really am. He doesn't look very confident. He's not making the proper adjustments mid-game. And you could tell that he feels strongly about some things that he's not acting on. And if that's the case, man, like he needs to go out there and put on his big boy pants and show that he's the head coach, right? For a reason. Not that, oh well, I'm just here to manage players and be a rah-rah guy. Like he needs to go out there. All right. So any place I've ever worked, the person that they choose for management positions is always a dick. And I always look at it like that guy is not the most knowledgeable. He's not the one, or she, right, is not the person that does the job the best or even knows it the best. It's the person who's the most assertive, the person who's gonna like not take any bullshit and just get things done, right? And so when I look at AP, he came in and he was that guy, and now he's not. He's not being that guy, and I think that he needs to go stand up to Mark Davis or Tom Telesco or whoever has more control than him, because somebody does, and he needs to go over there and be like, look, this is what we're doing. Take it or leave it, man, and make it happen. Yeah, man. Now we're losing Wilson. It's brutal, dude. And yeah, AG, we get another shot, right? We beat the Steelers, and all of a sudden we're back in this, right? If we're 3-3, I'm not really mad about that. Because when I predicted our win-loss stuff when the schedule first got released, I figured that we were either going to be 3-3 or 4-2. Hopefully 4-2. But really, the Ravens should have probably beat us. The Browns, they've been a good team. So I thought we're probably going to take an L there. And then against the Steelers, well, the last two times we played them, they beat us. So I'm like, shit, man. Well, we're probably going to lose those games, but we're going to beat the Chargers. We're going to beat the Panthers. We're going to beat the Broncos. Those are 3 games that we lost. And we won the 2 that I thought we would lose. So the Steelers, I kind of had us taking an L against the Steelers. I hope that, I always hoped that we would beat them, but I have a feeling that we're going to end up, I had a feeling that we would lose, right? But if it goes to the metric that we've been playing, we'll probably beat the Steelers, right? And if that's the case, we go 3-3. My 2 cents. Hey, salute. If you're out of here, see you on the next one, man. But yeah, losing Wilkins for a bit is going to hurt because it's really up to Max Crosby's game to have Christian Wilkins right there next to him. So next man up, right? And Max Crosby is playing excellent. He has only played 4 games and he has 5 sacks. That's beautiful, man. I love that. Yeah, O-line and play calling, that's our inner core. That's what's messing us up. Yeah, we gotta go out there and play like we did against the Ravens, against them Steelers, man. For real. Jeffrey, would you trade Adams for Shaheed at a 4th round pick? You talking about Shaheed from the Saints? Right? He plays for the Saints. Rashid Shaheed? Yeah. Wide receiver. I honestly don't know really enough about him to make that call right now. I've heard good things about him, but I haven't really watched him play, man. Let me see. I'm going to pull up some stats on him real quick. Just real quick. Sure, I'll go ahead and share a screen too, man. That way I'm not being a weirdo, man. All right. So Rashid Shaheed, 6 foot, 180 pounds. He was born in 98. Geez, that makes me feel old. All right. So far this year in 5 games, he's had 19 receptions, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's doing better than he did the last 2 years. But he did pretty decent, man. I mean, I wouldn't exactly say I'm against it, man. I don't think that wide receiver is what we need right now because really Brock Bowers is our wide receiver one. He is, right? Jacoby Myers, and then Trey Tucker is amazing, man. I'm super happy with Trey Tucker. And as long as we got Michael Mayer actually coming back and we actually utilize him, which I think that Aiden O'Connell is better with tight ends than Gardner Minshew. But we got a pretty good receiving core, man. We really do. And so to bring in a receiver like that, like, okay, cool. But really what we need is draft capital, man. A fourth round pick and Shaheed, maybe, but really I want them higher picks, right? I want, like, especially if we can get a first out of a team, which is doubtful. I mean, really, the Raiders put it out there that they're asking for a second round pick and extra compensation, which tells me that they're considering a player in a second or a second and like a fifth, sixth. So we'll see what that actually looks like, man. Billy Davis, man, but this is his one full season as a head coach, and we're going to be fine. So have faith in him and the Raiders too, man. Billy, I love that optimism, man, because I think that he gets at least the full season, right, to see. And a lot of people are already predicting that Antonio Pierce is not going to be our coach after this season. We still have not seen Antonio Pierce's contract, which is a big red flag. I don't know what his deal looks like. It might be a 1 year. It might be a 2 year. I know that they tried to put Cliff Kingsbury on a 2 year, and supposedly he left because we wouldn't extend it to a 3-year deal, which I don't believe that. I believe that they found out that, oh, you guys aren't moving up for a quarterback. And he said, no, I'm going to go to the Commanders. I'm going to go coach either Jane Daniels or Caleb Williams. And he got Jane Daniels, right? So I have faith that AP has the ability to turn things around. And what I don't have faith in is that he's going to actually do it. We'll see how this goes. We're coming up on an hour, you guys, man. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I definitely love all y'all for rocking with me. I love you, Raider Nation. I'm not going to be available for the TGI Raiders Friday Live because I'm going to the pumpkin patch with my kids, man. We're going out to the pumpkin patch. We're going to go and hit the haunted corn maze, man. It's gonna be cool, man. It's gonna be fun. So I will be doing a play-by-play watch party for the game against the Steelers on Sunday. Keep an eye out, man. I got a Loco Sick. What's up? I gotta give a salute to you before I close the live. Been a Raider for over 40 years. This dysfunctional organization been rebuilding over 23 years. Commitment to failure. Man, that's a hard way to end it, man. Western Conference, we're gonna end it with a salute. Shout out to you guys, and like always, if you have not already, please hit that subscribe button. Shout out to you, nation. I will catch you guys on Sunday.